Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So what are we doing today? Well, after that dirt we got at Lawson Bar, I did a couple more trips down there to work on some safes, and I brought some more buckets home. So I am washing the gravels right now into this tub. I've got a 5-gallon bucket here that doesn't have a bottom. This way I can put my classifier right here. We're finding some really beautiful rocks inside here. So I'm going to classify these down to a 1/4 inch. Then I'll classify it down to an 1/8 inch, and then we'll run it through the gold cube. So this is some pretty interesting stuff. So I'm running some fresh water through here because you can see how murky my water's gotten. But I got this from the red layer that sits right on top of a clay layer there at Lawson Bar. And you can see these rocks are just, let's set this in here so we can start cleaning out the water some. Stay. So you can see these rocks, I lost my hose. These rocks are just covered in clay, and the gold's gonna be locked up in that, so I need to get it really, really clean. So I'm taking my time. I've gotten 2 buckets done so far. I'm working on the 3rd, and I've got 4 more to go. I just gotta work this stuff down because it is really full of clay. But it's got a lot of good rocks in it that are telling me that there's some minerals in here, a lot of quartz, a lot of ironstone. So let's get all of this ran, and then we'll run it through the 1/8 inch screen. I will pan out everything that's a 1/8 inch plus, so in between a 1/4 and an 1/8 inch, and then we'll run the 1/8 inch material through the gold cube. So this is actually, look at that clay. Super clay, but look at the good material that's with that. Red into a bluish gray clay. That's right on the seam that we were digging on. Bleh. Okay, so we made it through those 7 5-gallon buckets of dirt, and man, was there a lot of clay. It was some dirty dirt. So I've got it in there, but I want to show you a couple of the rocks we found. So we've got a lot of beautiful rocks that we got out of there, and there's more in my yard in here that my kid's gonna poke through. One of my favorites is actually this agate that I found. A little bit of host rock on the outside. Just absolutely amazing color. And there's some great little intrusion examples. Some of the red stones, lots of quartz. These are gonna end up going through the tumbler, and we'll see what we end up doing with those, because we're gonna get the rock tumbler up and running here soon. This is what 7 5-gallon buckets of dirt look like, and you can see that it's got a lot of sediment, or a lot of silt to it, a lot of clay. So we've got rain coming, so I'm actually going to fill this bucket up to the top and let the rain work out some of this sediment. I want this clay to dissolve some before we classify it a little bit more and run it through the gold cube. So I'm going to get that filled up, and then in a day or 2 we're going to run that through the gold cube. I'll see you in the future. So I let the rain fall on that gravel for a little while and get some of the siltiness out of the water. I classified it separating the 1/4 inch material from the 1/8 inch material, and this is what we got out of 7 buckets. So out of 7 buckets, we got about 3, almost 4 gallons of 1/4 inch material, and there were a few bigger rocks that got in there. Ooh, look at that clay ball. I missed that, so let's wash that off. And then we got 5 gallons of the 1/8 inch material. Now this stuff is super fine and really silty, so we're gonna run that stuff through the gold cube, and that I'm just gonna pan by hand. So we panned through all the 1/4 inch, and there wasn't any gold there. Not surprising. The Umpqua isn't known for, you know, its big nuggets, but it is known for its fine gold. So now we're gonna run through that 5-gallon bucket. Once the weather decides to be nicer, it's kind of been on and off today with the rain. I'm not gonna set the gold cube up in that. So once the weather gets better, we'll set it up and run that dirt. Okay, so now that we got the nice weather back, we're gonna run that soil from Lawson Bar through the gold cube and see what we get. So because there's so much clay in this gravel, I'm actually running quite a bit of jet dry because I don't want that clay to carry the gold out. So as I do this, I'm trying to work the material. I'm already seeing some fine gold showing up in the mat, so that's a good sign. So check this out. This is just the top tray. And a little bit that was on the back side of it. Oop, slid that back. Look at how much gold just in the top tray. Oh my God, it's so nice. All right, so we started with 7 buckets classified down to 1/8" material, which made about 5 gallons total. We've ran it through the gold cube and we've ended up with roughly about 1.5 cups of material. I get that patered off my fingers. Now that is too much material to run through this little pan. So we're gonna clean this up further and I'll be back to show you the gold. Okay, I still got a lot of panning back to do, but look at how much gold we've got so far in that black sand. This is an amazing spot. I wish I could dredge here. Just keep working that back. I love how the gold has an orange color to it, and I think that's just from the iron in that layer. Beautiful. Let's get this all the way cleaned up. Okay, so we're gonna see just how much gold was in that. I sucked it up in the vial as I was panning it out. Holy shit balls on a stick. Remember, this is not for children, so I do cuss. But that is easily the most amount of gold we've ever gotten out of that small area. So we are going to get that gold dried up and we're going to see just how much there was right there. Okay, so I've got the gold here on a piece of paper and I've got the scales zeroed out. We're just going to double check by hitting that. Now, this gold came from 5 gallons of material that was classified at 1/8 inch. That 5 gallons came from 7 buckets of unclassified material. So it'll give you an idea of how much gold is in 7 buckets of unclassified or 1 5-gallon bucket of classified material. So let's see how much this weighs. I'm going to try to do this one hand really carefully. I don't want to lose the gold. I'm guessing it's a little less than 1/3 gram. Let's find out. A couple little spikes to still knock down. All right, so we got 0.22 grams. Pretty much what I thought we were gonna get. And there's one little piece that fell out. But that's not bad at all. All right, guys, so that's a pretty darn good result for 7 buckets of unclassified material. Those 7 buckets ended up being about 8 gallons of quarter and smaller material. Out of that, I got 5 gallons of 1/8" material that we ran through the gold cube. So if we were at the river and classifying this on site and running it, we could get a lot more material ran, because unfortunately we can't run motorized material. Very sad. But we can still take our conventional equipment. So I will see you guys down there on one of the next adventures. Now, if you haven't already, it really helps the channel if you like the video and subscribe down below. We're growing quickly, and the more that you like the video, the more it gets out there for others to find it. So as always, guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.